know that the situation in Ukraine is not like living in a normal life. And for that reason, I really appreciate taking the time and being with me. I hope this time will be beneficiary and will help you understand a little bit more about leadership. I teaching a leadership course at the Army Academy, the Romanian Army Academy. And so many times when we talk about leadership with my students here in Romania, and I'm asked, what do you think about leadership? Many times the answer that I get, they are focusing on getting some skills. Leadership is about being managing the team, having integrity. But when I look at leadership, I'm seeing that leadership is a behavior, not a position. Especially in the army, working with the army, but working with the business people, many times they make a confusion between leadership and having a position in the company or in the organization. And so leadership is not about a position. Leadership is about behavior. Leadership is about me. Leadership is about who I am. Um, and leadership is not about how you do things. Yet, yes, it's very important to have some skills, um, to be a good communicator, for example, but it's about who you are as a person. So that's for this reason I chose today to talk a little bit about ourselves, to focus on ourselves and see how our personality can help us being a better leader or can hinder our leadership. Um, when we look at the concept of leadership, there are three aspects. And if you look at the books that are written about leadership, these are mainly the subject. The leadership is about mission, or getting a vision for an organization. It's about team, because if I don't have a team, I cannot be a leader. And it's about individual. From my observation of the leaders, the difference between being a good leader and being a great leader, the difference is making on the third circle, on the individuals. Normally a leader has a vision. He is presenting the vision to several people, and then the people get excited and they said, I want to come alongside you and I want to fulfill the vision that you have. This is kind of the process of leadership. So then you have a team, and so you start leading this team, and on the process of fulfilling the leadership, the mission or the vision that I have, I give the team task. And many times when I am giving a task, I am thinking about the team, how this team is going to be able to fulfill the task. Is this team capable to do it? Do I need to train the team or wherever, something like that? But rarely a leader are thinking how the task that I'm giving to the team will impact the individual. If I have Nikita or a Sophia and a Julia on my team, okay, I can look at the task that I give to the team, but the difference between a good leader and a great leader is how this mission that I give to the team will influence Julia. And so if you want to know where you stand on these three areas, you can do a very simple exercise that I'm doing most of the time with the leader that I'm working. I told them, you just take a piece of paper, and at the end of the day, you divide this piece of paper in three areas: mission, team, individual, and start and look at your schedule for that day. If I start the schedule at 9 o'clock, say, and I finish it at 5 o'clock, look at each minute that I spent from 9 to 5 and try to categorize this time on these three areas and see how much time did you spend on mission. Maybe you spend it on explain it. What is the task? What is the mission? What is the vision? Maybe you spend some times on the team, trying to resolve a conflict, etc. How much time did you spend individual? Did you have time one-on-one with some of the members of the team? Did you ask them how you doing? Or when you had a task and you know that a member of a team are struggling on the area that they were supposed to work on that day, did you take a time to talk with him and say, hey, I know that what you're going to do today is going to be difficult for you. I want you to know that when I was thinking of this project today, I was thinking at you, and I know that will be difficult for you, but I'm here. I am ready to be alongside you and help you um, to have success of accomplishing the task. So it is very, very important to have a balance when I look at the this area of the leadership. Now, let's let, let's pause a little bit about the team. When I work with team, one of the a major difference that is making in my leadership is if I realize that every member of the team, it's a unique person. And so if I am coming with this understanding when I lead the team, I can have a great success on my leadership. So that's why I paused a little bit today and I decided to talk about the uniqueness and differences that each member of the team is bringing and what is the challenge of the leadership having this in my mind. So a successful leader need to recognize that each member of the team is unique. And when I'm talking about uniqueness, I'm talking about the skills, the strength, the perspective. Everybody's coming with different perspective, even with the weaknesses. So I need to take all of this in consideration. So it's very simple. But in the same time, when I am in the process of leadership, many times I forget that we are different. We are different, and our differences result in each of us seeing life through a different lens. Many times we forget that we look at the same thing, and many times we see different things. And the differences is making the length that we look at the things. When I look at something, I put my experience, my background, and I look at that things. And if I have this in my mind when I'm leading a team, will help me a lot. Also, good leadership enable us to understand how different personalities can work well together. If I am aware of the differences between me and my team members, will help me be a better leader. So for this reason, I chose, and what we're going to do today is just an example. I want you to give you an experience to understand the concept. And I just decided to use one of the many tools that you can use if you want to look at the personal profile. One of the tool that is used in the business world and especially in the multinationals, they use this test that is called the DIS test. Especially they use it when they are hiring somebody. When they decided that they need a new person in a team, they use this profile just because they know what kind of person they want. And so that this tool will gonna give them an understanding of the person that is coming to join the team. What I send it to you through the, and I'm hoping that you got the notes and on the notes was a test, a very simple test that you needed to take it. I don't know if you had the chance to take that test. Did they got the notes?
Which
prove the test, yes.
They got the notes. Okay. So on that notes, there was a test that you needed to take. And you had 4 affirmation on each line, and you needed to score each affirmation starting with what is the most, which one is the most describing you, and you needed to give a number 3, and then which one is the less describing you, giving a number 0, and then 1 and 2. And at the end, you needed to add the numbers on the columns. And so you have the columns A, B, C, D. Well, each column is D, I, S, and C. So the A is for D, B is for I, C is for S, and C is for C. And what we're going to do is we're going to look a little bit at the test and see what are the characteristics of each personal profile. So I put here that the D is representing the dominance, I is for influence, S is for steadiness, and C is for consciousness. So if you look at your test, you need to look and see which score is the highest. So if the column A is the high, you have the highest score, that means you have your personal profile, it's D. If the higher score is the column D, that means you are personal profile, it's C, which is consciousness. Did you understand me? And you should have probably, you need to look at the higher score and the lower score. Right now, we're going to look at the higher score, and then I'll tell you what is about the lower score. From the beginning, I just want to say that it is not easy to describe a person. What we are doing here, we are just using a tool to give us an idea about a person. If we want to understand a person, we need to come and look at that person from different angles. So my suggestion is, if you want to really know somebody, use 2 personal profile tests. Some other personal profile tests are the Myers-Briggs. I don't know if you are familiar with the Myers-Briggs, but you can have the Myers-Briggs, and I'm going to tell you something else that I am doing at the end. So let's look a little bit of this 4 personal profiles. When we look at this, so this is what the disc test is. What are your tendency? We're gonna, when we look at this at each personal profile, we're gonna look and see what are the tendency of each profiles, what are your needs, and what are our comfort zone, you know, and what tends to generate positive and negative emotions. So I said that the higher score is gonna describe your primary profile, and then will be a second profile, and the lower score is gonna be the less profile that you have in your personality profile. So let's look a little bit, and I'm not gonna go through everything. There are lots of materials on the website, on the internet about the test disc. You'll find lots of pictures, lots of examples, lots of explanation. That's not the point. The point, what I'm trying to do is to explain it to you how you can use a personal profile test to help you on your leadership. So when we look at the dominance, what are the tendency of somebody that the profile is a dominant? Well, the dominant is focused on immediate results. The main characteristic of a person that is a dominant is they focus on results. They are causing action. They are bored if nothing is happening. They like challenges. They want quick decision. They don't like to talk too much. When you talk too much and you get too many explanation, you're losing him. So they like quick decision. They question the status quo. Always they ask you, but why? Why like this? Why, you know? And then they have a tendency to take control. If you want to it's very easy to recognize a person that that her profile is dominant when you are in a group and in that group is no leader and they are just talking and they said, what should we do today? So it's a group of friends and they get together and they said, what should we do today? And one say, maybe we go see a movie. And the other will say, maybe let's go to the park. And they start talking about, and immediately somebody's coming, let's do this. And we'll take the initiative and they just take everybody after them and they're going to do that. So that's the tendency when it's a lack of leadership. Immediately a person, if in the group is a dominant, he's going to take the leader. He's focused on solving problems. What they need to learn, they need to learn that you need people because they are focusing on results. They are quick in decision and they just want action, action, action. Many times they forget that each of them team member, they have their own rhythm on working. And so many times he's just 100 meters ahead and he's forgetting that his member is behind and he doesn't have the passion for the people on his team. So one of the things that he needs to learn is that he needs people. He needs to learn that relaxation is not a crime because for him, action is very, very, very important. But relaxation is not a crime. That some controls is needs. He is reacting many times against the authority. So we will see how somebody that is a leader of a team and in that team has a dominant personality, how he needs to work with. Uh, he needs to realize that everyone has a boss because as I said before, his tendency is to take in the authority. His tendency is to take in control and sometimes he's overstepping and he needs to realize that everybody has a boss and that he needs to verbalize reason behind the decision. Then, because there are people that they need explanation before they will be able to do something. Okay, and motivation for the dominance is challenge. Again, you have lots of materials on the internet. So as a conclusion of this profile is that he's a dominant, he's a direct, he's driving, he's demanding, he's determined, he's deceive, and for him is doing, 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 doing. Okay, let's go to the that's the comfort zone for the emotion. And when we look at the personality profiles, we're gonna divide these 4 personality profiles were divided on 2 axes. On the vertical axis, we have people that are reserved or assertive, or with other words, introvert and extrovert. This is the vertical scale. The horizontal scale is you are oriented on the task or you are oriented on people. So we have people that are introverted, extroverted, and oriented to the task and oriented to the people. And when we look at the dominant is right here on the left top, because dominant is mainly an extrovert that is oriented on the task. That's why I was saying that he needs to be careful and realizing that he needs people, because he doesn't care too much on the people. He's the direct person, and sometimes being the direct, he can hurt somebody. When you have somebody from a different profile, and you'll see when we'll go through the other profile, they will stop and will say, I don't understand how to do this. Can you explain it to me? Sometimes he is rough. He is coming and is saying, why are you asking? Just do it, you know. So it is very important for him to know that people are important. Comfort zone, yeah. Words are intended to produce something. As I said, if you explain too much, he's gonna stop you and say, just tell me what I need to do. Just let me know what I need to do. Conversation has to have a purpose. You don't just explain and you have a conversation just to have a conversation with the dominant. Maximum freedom come with projects and activities. You know, give me freedom and I'll do your project and activities. They need clear direction, and clear direction creates energy and freedom. Emotion, productivity generates satisfaction. At the end of the day, if I finish this project, I'm satisfied. So because I am concentrated on the task, my focus is accomplishing this task. And stress can fill the space where there is no productivity. So this is kind of the dominant. I put here personality that will exemplify the dominant. Everybody probably know the mission with Tom Cruise. There are others. Now the second profile is the influence. And the tendency for the influence is to take initiative with the people. He likes to be in the center of attention. He likes to talk. He is very articulated. His enthusiasm is entertained. It's optimistic. Is a visionary. He likes to have people participate on the things. What he needs to learn is that time controls help. The time is important, you know. Deadlines are important. There can be too much optimism sometimes, and motivation for the influence people is recognition. So if you go to a party and you see people around somebody, probably that person is an influence. They like to talk, they have vision, they talk a lot about we should do this and this and this and this, but they have a hard time coming with a plan to get the vision in place. And when we go back to our assertiveness, reserve, task, and people, he is an extrovert, but he is focusing on people. So comfort zone for him is fun and parties, unorganized time. If you have meetings, schedules, it's killing him. He doesn't like this kind of boundaries. Conversation for the purpose of people. They just like to talk with people. Emotion, people are fun. They are magnetic. Work tends to be in the way and trouble. Life is good with lots of social interaction. So he's inspiring, he's influencing, He's inducing, he's impressing, he's interactive, he's interested in people. That's his main focus. He's interested in people. Again, I put here, I don't know if you saw the movie Black and White. You know the difference between you and me. I make this look good. There are other people. Now, the third one, steadiness. The tendency for the steadiness is consistent and predictable. He is patient, his specialized skill, he's helping others, he's a good listener, he's loyal. If you want to have a normally the best friends, the loyal friends, their personality profile is the steadiness. It's calm, it's excited people. He needs to learn that a change provides opportunity because the steadiness doesn't like changes. Um, Friendship isn't everything. Many times he confused friendship at work with his leader, and he is having a hard time to make a difference between right now I am in the work situation, and yes, in the free time, this is my friend, but when I'm work, he's my boss. Uh, and discipline is good. Motivation is appreciation for this person. Um, and when we go back to our graphic, um, he is focused on people, but he's an introvert. As I said, he's more calm, he's loyal. Comfort zone for them, routines. This person likes routine. Doing things the same way is predictable patterns. You can visualize somebody that is working on booking, keep booking, accounting, working with others in a team settings. He likes to work with other people because he's focusing on people. He connect well with people. Because he's introvert, he is connecting better one-on-one than in a group. Sometimes he's overwhelmed by groups. Generally is calm. It's without big challenges. He doesn't like challenges. He doesn't like changes. When a change is coming, he start feeling anxious. And I put this from the Lord of the Rings. And if you're not familiar with Mr. Frodo, the friend that he said, "Don't you leave me some ways, Gamgee," or Mother Teresa or Indira Gandhi. Now let's go to the last one, consciousness. The tendency for the consciousness is it's adhering standards, concentrating on details. So adhering standards, he has high standards, he likes standards, he's thinking analytically, indirect approach to conflict, he doesn't like direct conflict, it's check accuracy, systematic approach. And he needs to learn that true explanation isn't everything. Total support not always is possible, and motivation is quality. He likes quality. And for the consciousness, he is cautious, is calculating, is careful, is contemplative. When we go back to our graphic, he is reserved and he's concentrating on the task. So now, let me say this too, and then I'll say something else. Comfort zone for him, working precisely with data, interpreting the facts, and likes specialization, working on projects where specific skills are required, clear task, purposes, job description is very important. You need to give him specific instruction. If you don't give him specific instruction, you are killing him. Emotions, has feelings but doesn't talk about them. and frustration when decisions aren't connected with data. He likes information. He likes history. He likes to do something based on the success in the past. If you cannot show him what happened in the past and can apply it in the future, it has a hard time to do that. That's the kind of a Sherlock Holmes, Bill Gates and somebody else. Okay, I'll come back to this graphic because I think it's very important to understand it. If we understand the graphic, it's easy to start evaluating the people that we are working. And what we are discussing over here, because we are discussing about leadership, and we said one of the most important thing on leadership is to realize that each member of the team is unique, is very different. But what we're discussing here can apply in marriages too, can apply in friendship too. And if we understand that we are different and we know our differences, we can start communicating a little bit different. So if we want to do an evaluation of our team, sometimes we can do this test or use another tool, or we create our tool. One of the things that I do with my students at the Army Academy, and I'm not working only with the students at the Army Academy, I'm teaching there, but I work with officers many times, and I start with them when they are students at the academy, but I work with them along the career. So I start with them as a student, and right now I'm working with colonels, I work with generals. They were not married, now they are married, some of them they have kids. One of the things that I do, I try to help them understand that uniqueness and how what the uniqueness brings in the leadership, and how they can be a better leader if they understand the differences between them and the members of the team. And so one simple thing that you can do if you want to make an evaluation and know your team members is you can ask them to take a paper and ask them to write 3 strengths that you have, 3 things that you think that you are doing very well, and 3 things that you need more improvement. And if you want to go a little bit deep, what I do, I do kind of a 360 evaluation. And so that, I don't know if you are familiar with the 360 evaluation, but what I do is ask somebody that is in a position, that is your boss. Ask him to write you what are the 3 strengths and the 3 weaknesses, 3 things that he thinks that you do better, 3 things that he thinks that you need to improve. Ask your colleagues, and ask somebody that is in your team that you are a leader for them, and then you can get it together and you can figure out, and see if it's what you think about yourself is the same with what the other things about you, and if the other things about you is the same that what you think. But if you want to use this test to do an evaluation, what I do is I just have this in mind. I have this graphic in mind. I have that a person is introvert or an extrovert, is oriented on task and oriented on people. So if I go to a new team, I look and see who's extrovert and introvert, first of all. And it's easy, because you can see people that are taking the initiative and talking, or somebody that is more reserved. Extroverts is outgoing, is optimistic, is getting involved in things. Introverts are more reserved, are more realistic, are more withdrawn. So this is the first thing I'm looking and say, okay, this is an extrovert person, this is an introvert person. And then when I talk with them in the context, I look and see at what they are talking about. If they are just talking about what they did and what they will do, I did this and I did this and I did this, it's obviously that they are focusing on the task. If they are talking about people, then it's obviously that they are focusing on people. So then I can look and see, oh, he's an extrovert, but on the discussion, most of the subject that is approaching is talking what he did. Then, oh, he's the dominant, or he's a possible dominant, or, oh, I see him, he's talking with people and is talking about relationship and it's an extrovert. Oh, he's an influent, so I can categorize people and figure out immediately who they are and what they are. And then of course I don't stop over here. If I want to understand better the person, I'll go a little bit deeper. But you get the first impression, and you just need to be very careful not to put a label in the person immediately, and to know that none of us are 100% introvert, none of or extrovert, or none of us is 100% dominant or influent. Many times we have a combination, but when we are in a stress situation, always our first personal profile that have the highest score will kick on and will act uh, as it was described. So okay, when I send you the notes, I put there in the notes how a if I have a dominant in my team, how I should interact with him. How is it, for example, how I should communicate with a dominant, because communication is very important. And if I want for my team to have success, and if I know that in my team is a dominant, how I communicate a task, I need to speak, for example, I need to speak freely. I need to have a good uh, so I need to be good at debating. I need to tell him to describe the task, to concentrate on the task and not on the motivation. If I have in my team somebody that is steadiness, then I need to concentrate on explaining the task. I need to take time and talk with him personally because he likes to be approached personally. So if I have two dominants in my team, I know that a dominant has a tendency to take control. So how do I avoid this in my team? Maybe if I give a task to a team, I give specific role to a dominant to give him control of something, for him to feel that I have control on this one. And so then I can use his skills um, to do for the success of the team. Um, so if I'm looking at the leadership styles with the dominant, my suggestion that I should be have a leadership style, an autocratic leadership approach to this kind of people. To give them a little bit to take control. For the influence, it's more as a democratic, to give space for them to have a voice. For steadiness, to be a participation, for him to have a voice in what we do. And for the last one, for the C, more bureaucratic. I don't know if you have a chance to look at the notes. I hope No, I hope you had the chance. Question, which personality profile is the best? I will say we need all. That's the idea that all of us needs other people. And sometimes the dominant, for example, because he is concentrated on the task, he thinks, I don't need other people. Sometimes he thinks, actually, people are hindering me to approach the task and fulfill the task quicker. But we need all the profiles, because each profile, as I said it before, has strength and weakness. And so we need to embrace the uniqueness of every person. Don't think of yourself more higher than you ought. A body needs every part. If you think as a team, as a body, with the head, the hands, the feet, the eyes, the mouth, is it not silly to say, I don't need my mouth? Is it not silly for the finger to say, I don't need my eye? So I need to realize that I need each member of the team, and each member of the team is very important. Each has different gifts, each have different talents, each have different personality. And if we use our gift cheerfully to serve others, we can accomplish the mission, because a leader wants to fulfill the vision and the mission. And a good leader is the one that is creating the environment where each member of the team can use their gifts, their talents, their personality at maximum to fulfill the task or the vision that the business or the organization has. I'm going to close with this one, and then I'm going to let you ask questions. I think it was 45 minutes, I guess, yeah? And it's almost 45 minutes. It's very important to look at this one is what you have inside, this is what you pour on other people. What I'm saying is, if you have a bottle with coffee and you try to pour tea in a cup, you cannot pour tea. If you have coffee, you're going to pour coffee. If you have tea, you're going to pour tea. So it's very important to focus on us. The first thing on leadership is to focus on us and try to look at ourselves, try to work with us, and then whatever is in us, that's going to come out. I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to let you see if you have questions, comments. I don't know how it's working.
Okay.
Yes.
Nazari, please.
So, hello, sir. Thank you so much for your speech. It was really interesting for me to listen about leadership from both theoretical and practical sides. And about the practical side, actually, I thought about a question in general. How can a leader find a balance between people-oriented people that oriented on people and those who are oriented at tasks? In this on this graph you showed to us, it's different types. So especially when the personalities of these people does not align with the demands of different specific tasks in specific situation. So can leaders effectively adapt their style to the team needs, and what is generally the best way to achieve this? Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a great question. Well, as I said at the beginning, if I'm a leader, I have a personality profile myself. I probably be a dominant, or I be an influent. First thing is I need to be aware of who I am, because for sure in my team members, they have different other personality. So if I am a dominant, I'm gonna communicate very short with my team. I'm just gonna give them tasks, not explaining, because this is my by default, I'm acting like this. But if I am aware of who I am and what are my tendencies, I will, before I will go in front of the team and I will say, you should do this, I will think and I'll say, okay, in my team, I'm sure I have an influence, I have a steadiness, I have a constant. So how I can communicate on their language, you know? So the first step is to be familiar with all the profiles, know the strengths and the weaknesses, and then know who I am, what are my tendencies, and when I go and communicate a vision or a task, when I lead, I am sure that I will include on my communication all the elements that will feel comfortable for all members of the team. So yeah, I need to adapt. And sometimes if I know that I am a very strong dominant and I am focusing on task and I'm not good on dreaming, visioning as an influence, but I know that I have a member of my team that he has a strength on this one. I intentionally meet with him and I say, what's your opinion? How should we do this? How we should communicate this? One thing you should not forget is I cannot do by myself things. That's why I need a team. The leader always needs the team. So that means you need to involve the team even in the process of leading. So I need to be aware of my strengths and my weaknesses. And sometimes if I know that I have a strong weakness, and even I say in my mind, I need to be aware of this one, sometimes I need maybe to write things and to read things on the meeting to be sure that I communicate in a way that is good for everybody. I don't know if I answered correctly. I got the answer to your question.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Somebody else? A comment? Yeah. You don't need to ask something. I don't know how many of you were familiar with this one. If you don't have, I will close by saying, I'll leave you with something that is very important, and I'll teach everybody that I'm working with. Each of us are in a trip. We started a trip, and it's a long journey. It's not that will take one day. It's a journey. It's like going from Ukraine. You decided that you want to go from Ukraine by car, and you wanted to go to, let's see, Portugal. You cannot drive in one day. So when you plan the trip, you'll realize I need to stop in different cities, So in our life, we are in a long journey. And we decided that we have a destination, but is in the real life, to get to that destination, we need a GPS. And the question that you should ask yourself is, what is my GPS? Who is my GPS? Because if you don't have a trusted GPS, you can decided that you wanted to get to a destination, but your GPS probably, if it's not accurate, is going to take you a different place. And every stop that I am taking, if I don't pay attention, they can take me a different place again. So when I stop, sometimes I need to ask people, sometimes GPS is not very clear. We take the instruction and that's not very clear. And we need to stop and ask somebody, hey, please, can you give me direction? And it's the same in life. you need to have people that you can go when you feel that you are lost and ask. So it's vital and it's very important to have mentors, to choose someone that you trust, that you wanted to give accountability, that you always can go and give you good advice. And my last advice is this. If you want to, each of us are having, again, dreams. And I tell my students is, if you want to go up to a hill, you can go by yourself. Probably sometimes it's going to be hard or not, but you can go to a hill. If you want to go up to the Everest, to the mountain, you need people. So teams are very important. Depends of your dream. You can go to a certain portion by yourself, but if you want to dream big and accomplish big things, you need people. And you need to be careful when you choose the people and what are your advisors. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vali Lupu, for your time, for your advice, for your warm words. I think just it will, for your support, it will help our students. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure for me. And again, I really appreciate, because I know how the situation in Ukraine and here in Romania, we are praying for you and we have friends over there. And I know that the life is not easy. And so knowing what's happening over there, I really appreciate that you took the time to come and listen. And if you ever have questions, Professor Olga has my email address. I'm available anytime. If I can help with something, that will be my pleasure. And it was a privilege to be with you. And thank you so much for taking the time to be with me.